If you're concerned or curious about what is going to happen in the Ocean City real estate market in 2023, you'll want to make sure you stick around to the end. In today's video, I'm not only going to give you my predictions for what's coming this year, but I'm also going to check myself with what I predicted in 2022 and how close was I, if at all. Let's dive right in. Now, before I get to the details, I do want to take a step back and make sure that we are on the same page. So when I looked at the predictions in 2022, same with this year in 2023, I'm focused primarily on the two big data points that most people care about. That's prices and inventory. Now, inventory has a huge role in what prices are going to do, not necessarily the other way around. So with that out of the way, my predictions in 2022. For inventory, I didn't think that we would cross the 300 total available properties at any given point threshold. As for prices, I thought that we would go up 10% by the end of the year. Now, I didn't specify in that prediction what condos would do versus single families, so that is going to be a little bit different here. But in 2022, we actually only ended up with 309 properties at the peak. So by projecting out 300 when we were at roughly 180 when I made that prediction, that is pretty damn close. Now, for prices, condos did go up 9.5%, which is right on that 10% line. But where I was wrong was on the single family world. I had lumped in everything in that 10%, thinking that everything would play in similar terms. But single families actually rose substantially more than that, upwards of 40% higher than they were at the end of 2021. So that is a significant miss on my part. But with 2023, things are definitely going to be a little bit different. And let's tackle inventory first before we wrap up with what I think prices are going to do. On the date of recording this video, we're sitting at about 248 properties on the open market. Now, that should still trickle down a little bit as we go into the spring, and I think we're going to see a big difference come after summer of 2023. But by the end of the year, I think we're going to end up with more than 300 active properties on the open market, but I think we're going to be under 325. And if you're new to paying attention to this, or if you're new to following my channel, that number may seem like it's a high number, but historically, we've been averaging between 500 and 600 active properties at any given time. So we are still well below normal inventory levels, and that's going to have an impact on prices. Depending on the news source or what you read, what you watch, prices are all over the place, and people's opinions of where prices will go are even more scattered. One of the biggest drivers besides inventory that's going to impact prices here in Ocean City are going to be the mortgage rates. As much as everybody likes to think that cash buyers are so heavy here, and I've spoken to that in the past, we're typically greater than 50% of all buyers being cash over the past 2 years. I think that we're going to see that change. A lot of that cash came from an inflated stock market, which is projected to take a hit in 2023. That's not to say that cash buyers are going to fall off the board. They will still play a heavy role here in Ocean City, but I think we'll be closer to the 30 to 35% range that is typical for a second home market. But prices in and of itself, I believe we're going to fall roughly 5%. I could make a case for up to a 10% drop, but because of the constrained inventory that I believe we're going to have, I think any downside is going to be limited to about 5%. With all of that said, everything could go out the window depending on what mortgage rates do. We're currently sitting in the 6 to 7% range, and most sources predict that we're going to stay in that range. However, worst case scenario is that rates continue to climb, and if that happens, that is going to put more pressure on prices almost regardless of what happens with inventory. So interest rates are going to be a huge player in 2023, just like they were a huge player over the past few years, but in the reverse case where they were so low that it brought additional people in, created more demand in second home markets and markets across the country. So there you have it, my predictions for what's going to happen in Ocean City in 2023. If you have any questions, if you think I'm crazy, let me know down in the comments. I would appreciate any feedback you have, and I look forward to circling back on this same time next year to see where my predictions landed. Feel free to reach out to me any of the ways you see down in the description. If you have specific questions you don't want to share in the comments, or if you just want to chat about what the situation is going to look like for you and how you can take advantage of what's going to be happening in 2023. Thanks for hanging out with me as always, and I will see you on the next video.